Hi, I'm Stevie Fernandez.
And I'm Trish Whitmer. It's great to have you with us for another episode of Explore Tulsa. Now, Stevie, do you play any instruments?
Well, I have a lot of instruments, but try as I may, I've never really been able to learn how to play, except for, that time in grade school when I learned how to play the recorder.
Well, our first guest is a little more ambitious than that. Not only did Jacob learn to play the violin, but his love for his instrument led him to becoming an expert in the repair of stringed instruments.
Yeah, but I bet he can't play the Coke theme song on a recorder like I can.
It's usually how I try out an instrument, it's to see if it sounds tonally right, and then you can go up in the upper register. And that'll show the upper register on the G. A good instrument should speak up high there. And you should get some ring, the echo, the reverb. That's about the extent of my playing though. Make sure that they work right and they sound good in all ranges. I grew up in Davenport, Iowa, Quad City areas, and there was a string shop there, and I went in after I started violin and met with the owner, and she was really interested in some young person coming in and asking for the odd old things I was interested in, old cases and stuff. So she offered me a job, and I started working there in the summers primarily, and after a short time I started doing repairs for her. But I came out of that situation knowing I needed to really have some training. So I went to Red Wing, Minnesota, where they have a technical school program. It's one of the few in the nation where they specialize in just repair, and it's taught by a Salt Lake City graduate. And Salt Lake City is one of the biggest schools in the country. And after I graduated high school, that was where I went and did my program study there, and then moved to Tulsa in 2000 and worked for another shop in the area for 5 years. And then after that, the players basically found where I went and started coming at my house, and my house turned into a shop, and then the shop grew into another shop, and we've been in this location for 7 years now, and it keeps growing and growing. It is an awkward little creature. I mean, some people are built more for it in that it's a natural thing for them. Certain people can learn their way into it, but it is kind of a unique experience to play the violin. You have this instrument underneath your head that you're holding up with your chin, and using torque of the bow to push down. It's not a common thing to do. The model varies slightly. I mean, to most untrained eye, the instrument looks identical, but when you get into the nuance of it, the individual makers had their unique patterns that they made, which created a little different sound. So there is quite a variant to the actual shape of the body in small terms, but mostly it's the type of wood, the varnish, and the thicknesses of the wood. I mean, that varied the sound. The big change was about 1820, 1840, when strings were able to be made out of a synthetic steel material, and so they were able to raise the pitch. Pitches were not standardized for a long period of the history of the instrument, from the 1550s up to the 1700s. The A pitch was only discernible based on, or whatever pitch of the town might have been, the town bell. And then in the 1820s, when steel and other industrial revolution changes happened, they were able to make strings to go to a standardized pitch. So they lengthened the necks of the instruments, changed the neck angle so it's more steep, creating more tension and more volume and more clarity. So the biggest change happened then. Ever since then, it's been minutiae changes of string technology and adjustments and things that we calibrate in modern terms, but that was the big shift. But I really am joyful that I can go to work every day and do what I love, and be able to set my own boundaries on what I believe in the business and make that the business. Because a lot of places you end up working for someone else, and the value and the inspiration to why you're doing it sometimes wanes because it's not for the right reasons.